All right, guys, welcome back to another week of Loot the Universe. If you didn't know what this event is, basically on the various maps in Borderlands 3 right now, each week there's going to be a new planet and a new DLC that gets increased legendary drop chances. We are on now the final week, and on the final week we're on Nekrotafeyo, and the DLC that you're going to see more stuff on is going to be the Psycho Krieg and Fantastic Fustercluck DLC, which is DLC 4. So all the different maps have different legendaries that you can get when you go to them. So if you need like a god roll artifact for one of your builds, like say an Icebreaker Victory Rush, this is a great time to do it. Jump in and I'm going to show you guys probably the best place to go to farm each of these different things. So a couple things you can do to increase your odds is, number one, you can get the Schluter. This is an artifact that you get from the vault cards, and it is from the vault card titled Welcome to Pandora. You activate this vault card and then you can redeem this thing for a Schluter. Now once you redeem the Schluter, you can redeem it again if you have enough keys. So in addition to the Schluter, you also want to go to the Borderlands Science Machine in Sanctuary. It's in Tannis's lab. As long as you have an active internet connection, play the Borderlands Science Machine. As you gather points in the Borderlands Science Machine, you can buy things like XP boosters and the Butt Stallion Milk. Butt Stallion Milk is going to give you an increased loot chance for an hour. So put that thing on and you'll notice that your vending machines will be more lucrative. Enemies will drop more loot. So make sure you do that in conjunction with all this stuff. Another thing you should make sure you do is make sure you turn on the cartels event. This is available for everybody. Everybody has access to the cartels. Just go down here to where normally we'll say events disabled, switch it over to the Revenge of the Cartels. This is going to spawn even more enemies in most of the areas. Sometimes you will need to save quit out your game to make it take effect, but when it works really well to give you even more enemies, which means even more loot. So let's go map by map and explain to you guys what you can get more of this week. So let's start with Desolations Edge. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drive down into this area right here where you would find the car for Ellie for the challenge thing down here, but there's going to be a little encampment right here where there's going to be some badasses, and in that zone this week you will see more shotguns dropping. All right, up next, Tazendeer Ruins. On this map this week you can find more grenade mods and SMGs. Probably the best spot on Tazendeer Ruins would be to run all the way through the map to this spot where you will trigger a save station. Then you can run over here and fight Atomic and Celestro. You also get some enemies here in this middle zone, and then there's also enemies here. So on to the Pyre of Stars. On the Pyre of Stars you have assault rifles. Now there's another map yet again that has assault rifles, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you, don't bother with Pyre of Stars. However, if you feel like you need to bother with Pyre of Stars, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run all the way around to this spot on the map where you have the Iridian writing, and in that area where you have the Iridian writing, you're going to have some enemies there that you can fight. Probably going to be your best overall spot. That said, I'm going to show you guys a better spot for farming assault rifles here in just a minute. Now let's cover the one DLC map that is covered by this, and that is Scyer's Crypt. This is included with DLC 6, which is the director's cut DLC, and this is part of the final Ava's Murder Mysteries quest line. If you just want to do a full run through this map, I've heard of people getting upwards of 20 revolters per run. And I believe on my first run through here I probably had about 12 to 15. Now a couple things to take note of for this map: anytime you step in any of the water on this map, you're going to summon in revenant enemies. As you can see, they pop up here. They like to go invisible, and every time you're going to usually get 2 of them every time you step into the water, and these guys will have an increased chance to drop the revolter shield. In this first area you can trigger them fairly repeatedly by going in and out of the water. Let that effect disappear off your screen and then go back into the water, and boom, you got some more spawning. I think that there is a better, faster, more efficient spot than this. As you can see, boom, right there's our first revolter, and I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. Basically, you're going to want to go all the way to the end of the map. This is the final room of the map before you would fight the Scyrer, and this is the room that you're going to want to do your farming in. And ultimately what you need to do is you need to go down over here, and you're going to find your save station right over there. There's a save station, a couple vending machines. That's going to be the spot that you're going to want to trigger to do this farm, and then you can come back over here and you're going to get a bunch of revolters this week. And like I said, there's also other DLC 6, aka the director's cut items, be on the lookout for. for as well. On to the trials maps. If you're not familiar with the trials, that's probably because you didn't go and find the missions. I have a video right here on the screen that'll show you exactly how to find the trials maps, and all of these have a true trials option, which will turn the final boss into a raid boss level enemy in terms of health and damage that they will do. Also, they're going to drop you a lot of dope ass gear. The trials are great because it's a good way to test your build. It's fun little maps. They're kind of like miniature takedowns, so if you want something to really test your build before you jump into the final takedowns, then these are a great way to do that. So let's start with Ghostlight Beacon. This is the Proving Grounds Cunning map. On this map, this is the one where you're going to find assault rifles more often this week. And like I said, you do this one and not the Pyre of Stars. And here's the switch you would toggle if you want to do true trials. We don't need to do that for this event though. All we got to do, talk to the dude here. They're going to open the door, you run through, and you just start murdering stuff. Make sure you turn on the cartels event too, guys. Kill one enemy. We're at Mara, so you kill one enemy, everybody else dies. Pretty nice. As you can see, assault rifles. What you want to be looking for in terms of assault rifles this week: super shredder with a ×2 on it. You want to look for the boomsicle. You want to look for the phasor. The phasor you're going to use with the under barrel attachment option. You're going to find lots of assault rifles, and you can just do this first part of the map over and over if you want to. That said, if you go all the way to the end, you're going to get even more assault rifles. Plus, you're going to have the chance at the very end to get some artifacts and class mods from the final chest. If you complete it with the allotted amount of time, as you can see right there, if you complete it with 25 minutes left and you complete all the other check marks, then you're going to get a chest at the end that's going to give you guaranteed legendaries. So look, there we go. First shred of fire. It's not ×2. What you're looking for is right beside where it says 10454. It would have a ×2, and you would want the word super at the front of the word shred of fire. Illusion's Call is great, and Rowan's Call. I should have said those two as well. Illusions and Rowan's Call. And if you have the cartels event turned on, be looking out for the OPQ system as well. In case you get Josie or Franco, they can drop the OPQ system too. Up next, the Gradient of Dawn. This one is the Proving Grounds survival map. On this map, you're going to get class mods, and class mods are going to be dope. Again, true trials toggle there if you want to do it. Otherwise, let's go ahead and turn this on. And like I said, you don't need to do true trials in order to get these drops. Phase Zerker is what you want to look for on Amara. For Flak, you want to look for the Bounty Hunter, Red Fang, Cosmic Stalker. Obviously you want to look for any class mods that you can find that have a +5 roll on them. Those things are rare, so make sure you get those if you can. For Moj, you want the Blastmaster, the Minesweeper. For Zane, you want to look for the Executor, arguably the best class mod in the game for Zane. Or you also want to look for the Infiltrator. Up next, we have Precipice Anchor. Now, this is my favorite of the trials maps. I love this one. To me, this one feels exactly like a miniature takedown. Now, on Precipice Anchor, you're going to get pistols. Unfortunately, pistols this week. Now, for pistols, you do want to look for the Royston's Thorn. You want to look for the Maggie. You want to look for the Unforgiven with max crit damage, which I think is 432% crit damage. You can use that to crit swap and do some crazy stuff. On to the next map, Hall Obsidian. Now on the Hall Obsidian, the Supremecy map, you can get artifacts and launchers. Now launchers, I'm going to tell you, not really any that I think are worth bothering with that are base game world droppables. This toggle here is behind the guy. This one has gotten me a few times. In case you want to turn on true trials, make sure you do that before you talk to the dude. If we have the same kind of luck that we had at the end of the last week's event, then we're going to get some pretty good artifacts, because those of you guys who've been watching my Flak playthrough have seen that we got a lot of really good artifacts, including the Cutburst Launchpad, which is one of the main ones that you want to look for. That allows you to regenerate ammo really easily. You want to look for any of the stone artifacts, like this one says Firestone, but you want to look for one that's stone but also has Commander Planetoid on it, and those are great for iridium farming. If you bust open iridium piles while wearing a stone Commander Planetoid, here's the Commander Planetoid, then you are going to get an insane amount of iridium. Like, I don't know what it is about that, but you get a bunch of iridium when you do that. Wouldn't you know it? While recording this live, we get a Cutburst Launchpad. I'm telling you guys, this week in this Loot the Universe thing, oh my god, we got a boomsicle right beside of it. Next map is the Skydrowned Pulpit. Now this map has so many badasses on it. This is the hardest of the Proving Grounds maps, not only just to to clear the freaking thing, but also to kill the final boss, especially if you toggle this switch. Actually, only if you toggle this switch. If you enable true trials and you take on the final boss of this one, it is a raid boss. I don't care what anybody says. I know it doesn't say invincible in front of the Hag of Fervor's name, but that son of a bitch is as close to an invincible as you will ever see in any Borderlands game, period. So don't turn that on if you're just farming for the loot this week. So this week on the Skydrowned Pulpit is shotguns. Don't bother with Desolations Edge. You'll get a ton of shotguns in here. So look for the Butcher, look for the Trevenator. Ah, the Lob. How did I forget the Lob? The Lob is an excellent shotgun. Also the Hellwalker. How did I forget the Hellwalker? The Wayward Tether. This one is the Proving Grounds Instinct map. This one you can get snipers and shields. So if you're looking for a stopgap, a front loader, then also the Lauda. There's a true trials toggle there. I'm not even going to bother showing you this one. The first area is going to be great. You're also going to get loot jabbers in there quite a bit. Be on the lookout for shiny grogs. If you get a shiny grog, take a picture of it. Share it to me on Twitter. And finally, the DLC 4, aka the Psycho Krieg Fantastic Buster Cluck items. You can get increased legendary weapons from this DLC, including the Blood-Starved Beast. The best place to farm. Do the Good Egg side quest, and then you'll get all these enemies in this area, including General Blisterpuss, who seems to drop class mods a little bit more often than this DLC. Now, the trick to getting to that area is, instead of like going around these steps and trying to figure out your way, you will see that there is this little hole between some of the stairs. You'll find this hole. You got to jump into that, because I know this map is confusing as hell. So there's your Good Egg side quest. Grab that, and you're gonna have to go over into this area, and you're gonna find a lot of enemies over here. There we go. Now we're getting some drops. Another Pat MK. At least this zone is being lucrative. So again, do the Good Egg side quest. Looks like that's your best bet for getting things in this DLC. However, well, as you can see, we did get a world drop Muse from a random enemy just now, but getting anything to drop in this DLC is just rough. There is a rebound, so that did world drop, and then we got General Blisterpuss up here who didn't drop anything. So that's just how it goes sometimes with these things, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately this DLC is not being super lucrative, and I don't think that they're gonna do anything to try and fix it, unfortunately. So womp womp on that. You do the Good Egg side quest. It's located all the way back here at the back of the map, and you go through the steps for that, and then after you kill those guys and you return the schematic to Pat, then you should be able to farm that area again. But again, remember, on the way over, there's going to be some world drops through here too. Definitely use your Schluter for this one. And that does it for this week's Loot the Universe, guys. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, then make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, tap the bell icon for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a great day.